to this nice event, and we glad that you can come here. And we also thanks to all of the speakers today that already willing to give us some insight and their experience to start business and doing a business in Sweden. But first of all, I would like to thanks to Sis, Mbak Ani especially, who have helped us a lot during this event. And not to forget that we also thanks to the speakers and the embassy administrative that have come here. We'll have like 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes each for each organization, as Indonesian Student Association, the CIS Swedish Indonesian Society, and the embassy to give introductions. And then we'll hand over the floor to Mas Dedi, who is going to be the moderator. He is a PhD student in Linköping University, majoring in entrepreneurship and innovation. So we know what he's going to talk about. And this, hopefully, yeah. So this event is broadcasted live to internet, and it will be recorded as well. So people that is not able to join us today, or because it's too far away, or they don't have, they cannot squeeze their schedule in, they can watch it later, or maybe some of the guys that is sleeping in Indonesia right now, they can watch it after they wake up. And yeah, and there will be an interactive session, so the technicalities will be explained by Mas Dedi. But yeah, we'll have really insightful 2 hours today, and because this room is booked until tomorrow, so we don't have like really straight, pretty tight full schedule. So all of the floor is ours. And I'll give an introduction about Indonesian student associations. So this is the website, the PPI Swedia.se. So from here we can see all of the information about our organizations. We have a video, a Facebook page, and everything. And right, and we not only have this event in here in Stockholm. We also have this in Göteborg, like last time. We have this how to have a career in Sweden by Mas Basuki. He is a restaurant engineer from Lund. And we also have a lot of other stuff on the website. And this organization is basically to make sure that our Indonesian students can have their things or ideas to be done by us as well. And yeah, so, and this event is basically because Indonesian students not only want to continue their academic life, but they also want to start business. So we have this occasion to fulfill their need as well. So next I will hand over to maybe Mbak Ani from CIS want to say something.
I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to say welcome to all that's supporting us for this event. And this was a request by PPI like 2 years ago. But last year we tried to help, but it was raining and it didn't come through either. But this year is time like perfect. Everybody can come. Even the half of our student is not here, but they are on the air. Actually, we invited some of we call it small företagare, small company, but actually they are big. For us, it's big. One of our first we can bank is from Homes company, Hams company, and Ulsun Quiz Global Action. Bapak Iskandar is from the Embassy of Indonesia, and Ul Subert is from Midai, and Lina and Rolf is from Mousetrapper Data, is a keyboard for agronomists. It's very popular in Sweden. It's everybody, almost everybody using, even myself in the company. I ordered one yesterday. It's good for my arm. You know, it's like I'm not going to have problem because when you work you use a lot like this. You see, with their product, my hand is just thin. You know, like you don't do anything. So I'm not promoting your company, but I like the product. But the rest, and then Mas Kadri, one of our senior in CIS, he's gonna present how being Indonesian working in Sweden. He's working in Handelsbanken. He will also have the word. But that's it. Thank you very much.
And to follow up, one of the speakers that is not able to come here is Pras. Yeah, Pras is having a throat ache, so he was saying sorry that he cannot be here. But he is one of our students that already have 3 companies in Sweden, even though he hasn't finished the study yet. And there is another student who is from Jönköping, Hermawan. Hermawan is now making a company in Indonesia, but he got funding from Sweden, and he made the company in Indonesia and got the client from Sweden. So there's another way to build a company. So you use the Indonesian resource, but by using the Swedish funding. That one of the Hermawan is now in Indonesia. I tried to contact him, but he is now busy doing a presentation for the Indonesian Entrepreneurship Day. And also this event is a part of the Global Entrepreneurship Week. So currently in Stockholm there have been numerous occasions or events about the entrepreneurship weeks, and this is one of them, and it's made by Indonesia. So the next will be handed to Alexander from Norway.
Do I have to?
Yes. You want to?
Okay. Thank you very much. It's a very pleasant afternoon. Initially, I want to say something that my allocation time is 5 minutes, but since Ani only doing 2 minutes, so I have the privilege of taking from Ani another 3 minutes, because this is important. First, I am very much honored to be here among dear colleagues, sisters and brothers, Indonesian and Swedish. This is very important because the first speaker, the initiator, and Ani also mentioned 2 important things. Globalization. Globalization cannot be stopped, but we can initiate a strategy by expanding, enlarging our networking, and take advantage of globalization. And the second thing that Ani mentioned is very important. Small and medium enterprises. Mittelstand in Germany. In Germany, Mittelstand is the backbone of the economy. And Indonesia and Sweden, we are going to reach such kind of target by utilizing into maximum the human resources, those who are studying here, those who are already experienced doing business in Indonesia, and we can create such kind of bridge to attain something which is called synergy, mutually benefit. Long ago, before I stationed here in Stockholm, I dealt a lot with the Swedish Business Association in Jakarta, not because of positive thing, but with all due respect because of a negative thing, my bad habit. My bad habit, I smoke cigar. but one of the biggest producer of cigar here is the Swedish Match. And also, one more thing that you should remember, that Indonesia and Sweden, we have a very long relationship, even though only for a small trading. Start from the small thing. This is not a puzzle, but you can guess. The factory is not far away from here, in the edge of the big. Do you know that? This is a small thing that is very essential in life, that also helping Indonesia in building our life in daily activities. Anybody knows that? It's from Young Shopping.
think that you can find 480 an hour, maybe in a year you could spend 2,000, 3,000, but everything is good. They do your tax, they do everything. You just do the business, lift the consume pose plus bag. Here, fix my account, my books. They will fix it.
Not so easy.
Not so easy.
maybe not 2,000.
Nah, like that, 3,000. That was limited company I'm talking about. The partnership is the economic association is like 6. You know, like we don't make incomes. We don't do any profit. But the rest you do there, and then one thing I want to ask before I saw something, anybody want to know if I want to start company, if I want to have my salary like 20,000, how much money I should invoice the other company? Anybody wants to know about this? Yeah? Interesting, because everything is going to the tax. I will see if I can find a result. Can you help me where the one that you move from?
2/3 goes to the tax in general.
Yang itu berekeningan yang tadi yang ada. Ya. Yeah, here. Everything it will be all the link you can always Google it. Here, I will just do like this. I want to have a salary for 20,000. I'm cheap.
That's before the private tax rise.
And you see on and I'm more than 26-year-old. That means I will be in here because of and again the government changed the arbetsgivaravgift, which is the one that you cannot refuse. You see here, egenavgift 28%. Before was 30. No, this one egenavgift. Because it's your own company, not private. Now we're talking about. So if I'm 27, I will invoice the company exclusive mom 28,000. You know, moms is VIT. The VIT for a consultant is 25%, but for food is 12%. For a newspaper is 6%. And then if you want to do even company, there is too many different rules in those. It's confusing. It's like depend how you present the packet to the company that you're gonna sell. If let's say if I'm myself who's gonna be there, it will be 25%. But if I hire the people who's gonna sing, is a cultural, that will be another percentage, which is I'm not gonna go through it. I'm confused myself on those one. So you can see here, you go to the tax, the company will have to pay 28,000, the tax 48,000, you have to have your pension, you have to have your holiday thing and everything. This one is not including extra. Let's say if the company give you a car, if the company give you a phone, if the company is all again another tax. Like if your company give you a coffee in the office, if the company give you a fruit in the office, this is not free from the company. The company will pay another 24% of what is in the table. So again, you have to think what you're gonna spend the money before. Or either I buy a new phone, or I will buy myself coffee. That's mean a new phone. You don't get 24%. You invite people for coffee every time. You pay in the year of the year. They call it sales return stock. I don't know what is in English. They are not so. Men alla fall, there's just a bit. You can also do this. You can look. I will put all the link until how you calculate per hour for your company if you want to make. Then in those calculate, you will say, okay, your company, if I invoice 877 yesterday per hour, my company turnover will be 1,600,000 or something like that. Those one I will put the link for you, the Indonesian student who are interested to. Is it worth it for me to start? Is it really something that I can fight on the market? Is it? It's a lot of questions. It will come up in this website at Pung Essay. There you can go through it, and then I will put how you calculate the wage that you want and the company turnover. And then one more thing, the good thing about Sweden, you don't need to make as a own company. You don't need correct me if I say wrong. Everybody who has a company, my experience or from my learning is better if you just start your own company to make as little money as possible from the company and take the end of the year, and then you pay less tax. How you calculate? You can go to Skatteverket.se. There you can also get help, because I think now it's 20%, on utdelning, or 28%.
Yeah, I mean, you don't take it as a salary, but
No.
you take the
Profit in the end of the year.
Yeah.
After, and then there is another
But
thing.
there is a limitation. You cannot take
Yes, no.
anything you want.
That's why. And one more thing, the tax rule is human living. It's like last year, something else. And this year, suddenly, if you don't follow up, it will be like this trattamenten from, when you go abroad, you get like allowance. This allowance, living thing. Sometimes they are cheaper, sometimes they are more expensive. But everything is very open. If you have any question, call Rizal or email me or whatever. I will try to find the link. I will not answer you because I'm not expert. I will find the link for you, and then you will check and call them. Then you get the answer. I think my time is done. Any more questions, you can email me. My email will be on Rizal. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, before I thought that we will have discussion later after all the speakers presented their experience. But probably it's a bit difficult because there are quite a lot of information. What do you think if you try to manage a little bit flexible? If you have some questions, just raise your hand and probably the speakers will answer immediately. Yeah, I think that is much better. At the end, of course, we will have it again, probably around 30 minutes, but I think that is much better. I think so. Okay, for the next will be, let's try to see. Ras is not coming. Mas Bek. Mas Bambang.
I have some information in Swedish and some in English. Sorry, not in Indonesian. My wife is in the way. So you can pass this around. Sorry, babe, we just want to grab coffee. Okay.
Oh yeah, everybody want to have some snack while you were listening, and coffee.
Yes.
Is there some drink?
Well, I'm 64 years old. I have a lot of experience. I think I have been running 6 different companies. At the moment, I'm running 2 companies. I have tried all these companies you talked about. But my, should I say, education is a civil engineer. I have been designing wastewater plants and wastewater treatment. I've been an environmental inspector, but since 1975 I am an occupational safety and health consultant, an engineer. And how can you make money out of being a consultant? Well, some of the companies before I had actually been running a company manufacturing wastewater plants, small wastewater plants for small companies. But one of the problems with running a small company and trying to introduce a product in Sweden is the sale, the marketing of the product as such. I was having my base in Västervik, south of Linköping, and trying from there to sell this wastewater plant. I made a type of marketing research and found out that the need is 30,000 units. After 50 units, I gave up and sold my innovation to another company, which had already the marketing organization. But I'm very proud. I was the innovator of the year in that county, so I have a small diploma, got 5,000 crowns for that. So if you have a good innovation, actually you can be promoted in different ways and get help from this Tillväxtverket. Okay, I can continue while leaving this manufacturing company. I went into the consultancy business, and occupational safety and health and working environment and the environment around us. Can you make money in that? Well, you might be able to make money, but actually to do that kind of work gives you very good satisfaction. And it means that you have, should I say, a high motivation to do that work. And this is very important when you're running a company, to have a sustainable, motivating, sustainable way of working, so that you can keep on pushing and pushing until you get a success. Because my experience after having running 5 different companies means that I have tried ideas, didn't work out. I tried new ideas in new companies, it didn't work out. But now I have this called my company called HAMS Konsulterna. HAMS stands for health, A stands for working environment, M stands for environment, and S stands for safety. And that includes all the aspects you were talking about: occupational safety and health, working environment, and safety. So I have connection to Rolf's, because I'm doing auditing, seeing that they have a problem with their arms and so on, and then I recommend his product, the mousetrap, so to say. Well, at the moment I have a consultancy business in big companies, but also small companies. Last week I was in a company called Shop Design in outside of Jönköping, having training for 15 people around. Yesterday I was at Fortum, the big, huge energy company, doing consultancy work. But the main part of my business is, with my experience, is actually training. And I have one full-time employed and 2 more assistant, which is jobless people, which I have taken in for training, so to say. So I have made a small newsletter where you can find a lot of my way of working here. And the one who made this actually is a person who has an occupational injury. He has only one hand and only 2 fingers left of his other hand. But this is one of the way I work, trying to see what possibilities people have in doing their work. And we have found a way for him to actually complement me in marketing in different ways. So different kinds of activities, training, but also social activities. And I thought this kind of social activities, well, I had to pay for them, but actually they are generating a lot of work back to me. So I'm proud to announce that we have a new product which I would like to have maybe some students to look upon. It's called cooperative social responsibility, meaning that if a company here in Sweden wants to buy products in Indonesia, they want to buy products maybe from a manufacturing company which looks on the safety, health, working environment and social aspects of that company. And now we have a product, we have step by step, we can help the Swedish company to make an analysis of that local company. So they fulfill certain limited way of working. And that means that we are two guys here. One is married to an Indonesian, that's me. One is married to a Malaysian, that's Jan-Olof. But we need to have contacts, and that would be interesting to see if there is any students who can be a complement to us locally. Meaning that from Sweden we can help that company in Sweden to fulfill certain regulations and to stretch out to local companies in Indonesia and help them to fulfill the regulations so you can get the products to Sweden or elsewhere. So I'm happy to announce this for you today because I have not done it publicly before. But I'm also proud over this sign you see here, my logotype. It's blue in the middle. That stands for the individual, the group and the company. The red stands for rehabilitation, the yellow stands for prevention, and the green stands for promotion. And that logotype is done by Sri's brother, who is a graphic designer in Indonesia. So here you see, even in my logotype, we have a mixture of Indonesian and Swedish. My ideas, but his design. And my words is a step ahead, steget före. But also, collaboration is a success factor. And that's why I work not with a lot of employed people. I work in networks with people. That's why it will be very interesting to see if my invitation will give anyone of the students an idea to come and collaborate with me in my company.
That's all.
That's all. I thought I had overrun the time.
Maybe any questions from the audience to Masbeng? No? If not, I have one question for you.
Yes?
Masbeng, for example, if we, as foreigner, because a consultant company, for me, is more on the disease service. You have to satisfy people. And in order to satisfy people, probably communication is one of the most important things. If, as a foreigner, what is the challenge, do you think, in order to be somehow creating a consultant company?
The most important thing, I think, is you have the chemistry between the customer and yourself. How you present yourself, how you listen in your customer, and then make a short analysis of the customer's need, and then maybe make some proposals to be able to discuss. Because if you go, we have these products, only that. You have to have this side, collaboration, cooperation. If you cooperate and you can adapt your product into that customer's need, that's the most successful thing, I think.
Because I remember from Mbak Ani, when we talked a little bit by phone, Mbak Ani told me that, well, even if I have to contact company in the beginning, in the first, when Mbak Ani ran a business, I have to hire Swedish in order only to make appointment with this company. So I imagine how difficult is it to run a business.
I'm not so sure of that, because I have been so contacted by different type of companies, and if you have the language, it should not. In English is enough, I think. It's the presentation of your idea and your product or your duty as such. You know. But of course, there is always a little idea that maybe you don't understand what laws or legislations there are from tax, or in my field from environmental point of view, safety health point of view, there can be a problem maybe. But I'm not so sure. And in my field, as an occupational safety and health expert, I can go into the European Union. They have a work environment bureau, and on that bureau we have presentations and facts in all European languages. So if I have a problem to present something, I can actually bring up from that database a presentation in the local language. I have done that when I was working in Estonia. I have a Swedish on the presentation, and I took out from that European Bureau in Estonian language. So I have both put on the table. So I know that what I'm saying is the same as
hopefully
I can
the same as.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay,
That's a way of thinking.
Again, just to remind you, this is not only for us, but this is broadcast by the internet. So I hope that probably you can little bit think that what can we bring to the audience outside there. So probably Steve, you have been experienced as foreigner probably. What do you think, Steve, running a business here? Do you have any problem, for example, in contacting a company like what Bani said before, and how do you solve the problem?
Well,
introduce yourself a little bit.
You can stand up.
Stand up.
my name is Steve Sinaga. I work for shipping consultant in Uppsala, Aquamarine. So I don't run my own business actually.
But you contact many.
And well, I mean, as a student in the beginning, it's tough because when I started looking for a job, I also tried to make business with my friends, some friends, but it didn't work because, as I remember, we had to pay tax in the beginning, and as a student, I don't have money to do that, so we dropped the company and start finding a job. But I would say the difficult thing is you have to be able to communicate with people. Swedish, I think, is important. You have to be able to speak Swedish.
If you are fluent in Swedish, for example, how should we deal with the problem?
Take the chance. Take the chance. The free SAT.
Okay, that is one thing.
Do you need Swedish business or only like daily life of Swedish daily life Swedish? Because I know that the Swedish business has like a lot more vocabulary that you need to learn, and they don't teach that in SFI.
Well, it's actually lucky for me because I speak Swedish with my colleague in the office, but actually I'm doing business with Indonesia. So I go in the morning, make calls. So I speak Indonesian most of the time.
So you don't actually need, because you don't contact the Swedish customer.
No.
You use your partner to contact the Swedish.
Well, we have our markets is not only in Indonesia but also in Sweden. So most of the market is covered by Swedish market is covered by my colleague. So I just covered.
But we should be aware of that quite a number of the Swedish companies has English as their working language, so to say. And that's also in some organization. I think my wife's working language is actually English in your office. So you can try maybe to select these companies who has English as a working language, and then start trying to make business there. That's another way of doing it.
I think like Volvo as well. Volvo, I think they use English.
Yeah, Volvo, Ericsson has. There are quite a number of them.
Yeah, I had a chance to interview by Volvo, but and it was in English. So
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah.
So that can be a way of trying to focus on these companies first of all, trying to get the ideas.
Okay, any questions already from the deck?
One question. You say that.
Say your name already.
My name is Vira. I'm with Design from PPI. I'm studying doing master in Stockholm University. It's the master in strategic IT management, so it's half IT and half business.
Mira, can you come a bit so we can he doesn't need to move the computer.
I just have a quick question. You say that one of the ways to get contact is through networking, and how would you advise for us to do that? I mean, we're basically foreigner in their country, so maybe there are some tips that you can give us.
Well, if we want to start a small company, one way is actually to get in contact with these small företag, the small enterprise companies. They have a huge organization with local groups in most of the small towns, actually, and even small villages. That's one way of it. The other way is to go through association, collegial association. For example, as a safety and health engineer, we have a colleague association, and to get in there, to get contacts, to get help to go out, especially on this cooperative social responsibility. You can probably get some ideas from Swedish colleagues who maybe works in Scania, but who wants to buy things from Indonesia. You can go through them in some way. So I think try to find this different networks, so to say. But also in Sweden, it has come like a wave over the country, and it's the American networking called BNE. And I am actually invited to that network, where you're networking with not colleagues. You are not supposed to be more than one from your own occupation in that network. BNI, and try to find someone who is already in such network and try to see to get in there, that's the most modern way of networking, is through the BNI.
Okay, thank you very much. We can continue later because now, sorry, I say Mas-ul again. Because Mas-ul is probably will leave us soon, I don't know. But probably you can say the most important things then.
I'm not that much in a hurry, so it's,
Okay.
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I had made some slides. So.
Okay, I'm wondering, especially for the students, how many of you have decided to be entrepreneur? Tell me.
Okay. I have some ideas and would like to make it concrete.
Here in Sweden and
There are some ideas that might be better in Sweden, and there are some that might be better in Indonesia. I definitely feel that since I have a connection here, I have a network with other students and with fellow Indonesians and SIS, especially. It is very wise to actually have on this into this fast pool of knowledge and experience to try to connect this to this. Okay.
now is Mas-ul is ready? Say something? Okay, already.
Okay, my name is Ulf Schubert. I'm running a company called Midai. I have 4 slides here, so I will talk a little bit around them, but you are free to interrupt me at any stage here. Basically, the business idea around Midai is to use the ordinary mobile phone and the SIM card for secure internet access, that you identify yourself using the mobile phone, and our, say, the traditional segment that we're competing with is these kind of small devices for generating one-time passwords that maybe some of you have been using when doing internet banking. Some words about company history. I've been working with this since 1999. I was working at Ericsson, in Ericsson Radio Systems, where I was given the responsibility to run an innovation cell at Ericsson Radio Systems. This is where they do the mobile networks. And the idea then was the trend that was seen within mobile telephony in those days was that the internet boom was going on, and a lot of internet functionality was taken into the mobile network. And the question was there something we could take from the mobile network and provide to internet? And security was identified, and in 2000, MIDI was taken up as a venture within Ericsson Business Innovation. Ericsson Business Innovation in those days was the breeding house for new ideas within Ericsson. It was like a running number of startups within various fields. This was communication to the home, smart homes, wireless car, databases. There were all kind of spin-off ideas that came out of the different units within Ericsson, and each of these were run as a small sub-company within Ericsson. But we who were working with this, we were all Ericsson employees at the time. In 2001, the internet bubble burst around year 2000, and then 2001 is when the big cutbacks within the telecom sector started. 2001, 2002, and then finally in 2003, Ericsson Business Innovation was shut down overnight over 2 weeks' time in June, July 2003. And together with two colleagues, we decided to try to continue what we have been working with while at Ericsson, and we started negotiations with Ericsson to buy the leftovers of the company and to run it as an independent company. In one sense, it was good timing from a MIDI perspective. We had a commercial product was already developed. There had been a lot of money put into it during the Ericsson days, but we had a very small customer base. We had 7 paying customers, which was by far not enough to make us profitable. And of course, it was the reason to why we were shut down together with many of the other ventures within business innovation. For me personally, it was maybe not the perfect timing either. We were shut down 2 or 3 days before my first daughter was born. So I did the company registration from the delivery room, which I had a lot of complaints from my wife about. The company is now 1 day younger than my daughter and son. So we will be 9 years this coming summer. Since the formation of the company, we've had continuous and even growth, basically between 25-45% every year since those days. Currently, we are serving around 160 customers, and customers for us are government authorities and corporations. Estimated turnover for this year is somewhere about 21 million Swedish crowns. The segment that we're addressing is secure login. We focus on large organizations, and we have a complete offering where we basically go in and replace the traditional systems based on token cards. Our main competitor then being RSA Security, which dominates this market, or at least when we started, dominated very strongly and still dominates the market. Our competence is then both within IT environments but also since our connections or our history from Ericsson focus on the telecom infrastructure part of the solution, which means that we are somewhere technically we're acting in the border between telecom and IT infrastructure, corporate IT infrastructure. Roughly 90% of our sales are in Sweden. Currently, somewhere around 10% in Norway. This we are expecting that the portion of our sales outside of Sweden will increase. We have a few customers in Finland, one customer in Germany at this stage. We are currently recruiting one sales representative for Finland and one for Norway, dedicated for those markets. Examples of customers that we are serving. Swedish Road Authority is one of our largest installations. Handelsbanken, I was supposed to be after Kadri and the speaker list here, so Kadri will talk for Handelsbanken. They use it for employee access to their email systems, I assume. Telecomputing is it's a large IT company that provide IT services to other companies, so it's like we have one big customer who in turn serves a number of customers through them, so it's like a channel for us. The segment is business to business, the abbreviation is there, B2B, and IT security. Both of them means that it's long sales cycles before we get a customer running commercially and actually generating revenue for us. It can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years or something. So sales is it's an exercise of perseverance. We have to target our sales and marketing activities very much. We are not known to the general public. We identify the decision makers within the organizations that we would like to take in as customers. Since now 9 or 10 years back in Sweden, and since a few years back in Norway, we're also starting in other markets. From the agenda here, I thought I would like to list a few points. What I would say would be the pros and cons of running a company in Sweden from my own experience. But I have to confess I have only experience of running one company, this one, and I have no experience whatsoever of running companies in other countries. But from my own perspective, I would say that to set up a company is easy, and I think today it's even easier than it was in the days when we did it in 2003. Referring to the sites here that Nick was showing, I would say that the bureaucratic burden for us is low. The only sort of times when it was maybe difficult was that we were subject at some stage to European and American trade embargo rules for IT security that would fall within dual use for military purposes. So, but apart from that, it's been, I would say, very straightforward. The challenges that we've been having have been entirely, I would say, business related. It's finding customers and developing our products and keeping our costs slim so that we will make ends meet. When running the company, I would also say that the day-to-day contacts with authorities in Sweden are quite simple and streamlined. As a company, we have to do a monthly tax declaration. We have to make monthly tax payments. We do that then 12 times a year, and then there's the annual tax declaration at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the following year. And apart from that, we have never heard anything from the tax authorities during 8 years, or have had to deal with them in any way. We have not even had a tax audit or anything. And the information sites that as Anik pointed out here, I find them very useful. One thing that I could also point out that I find useful, that I use from time to time myself, is that if you actually have a specific question regarding tax, you can always send an email to the tax authority, and within a couple of days you have a proper answer. So it's not a very we're not using any tax consultants or anything like that. We have to use our money for that. And we just, from that perspective, I feel that we can really we're using our time, basically only 3 things in the company. We develop our product, and we do some patent protection of our product, of course. We spend time installing and supporting our product with the customers, and we spend our time finding new customers. And basically, of our costs, I would say it's 1/3 for each activity that we have in the company. If I would say the drawbacks, if the day-to-day contacts are simple, I would say that the actual tax rules and the way taxation looks with margin taxes, it's very complicated. I would say it's a sometimes level of parity, especially when business is growing. We have seen a lot of similar companies as ourselves that they disappear abroad, either being sold abroad or the founders moving abroad, etc. And the more we are running it, the more we understand the reasons also. The second one, I would say also, it's employing, actually going from networking and employing consultants to actually employing staff within your own company. The rules are maybe not overly complex, but they are not always in the favor of the company. And I would say they are quite inflexible, the employment models that we have in Sweden.
Can you specify a little bit? What do you mean by?
Before you employ a person in Sweden, you don't think twice, you think 20 times. You have a probation period of 6 months, but after that period is over, that person is employed there. Whether or not there is need for the person in question, or whether or not you are feeling that you're working well together. And if you want to terminate an employment after that period, that's when it gets difficult, it gets expensive, and that's when you have to involve the lawyers. Not that I have really that much bad experience from it, but I would say I'm very cautious before employing. We usually take in, during the last 8 years, we have not employed anyone without having them run through bemanningsbolag. That is, we employ them as consultants before we employ them. Actually, the first time we've employed somebody just like that was 2 weeks ago. So maybe we're getting more brave now. But it's also easier when you are bigger. It's easier to spend your time with those questions. When the company is very small, basically there were 3 of us running it from the beginning. You take in person number 4, person number 5, then you don't want to make any mistakes, because that can be both costly and it can eat a lot of your time.
It's more advantageous if you hire an employee or a consultant. When you probably have thoughts.
To have a person running as a consultant in the long run is, of course, much more expensive than employing the person in question. Then going back to point number 3 there, the complex tax rules. There's the amount of money that you can take out, that you are allowed to take out of the company at a lower tax rate than the highest tax rate is proportional to the amount of salary that you're paying out in the company. So there's, from that perspective, there's an advantage of employing people. Yes. So I would say it's promoted from a tax perspective. It's it's not encouraged from a legal perspective. My time is running out, and so are my slides. So I'm relying on more questions to make use of my last 2 minutes here.
Yeah, probably any questions before we take a break? Yeah,
I see that you are trying to penetrate the Scandinavian market other than Sweden and Norway. So if you consider entering to Southeast Asian market, what do you see as challenges?
For us to enter the Norwegian market felt like an extremely big step. So Southeast Asia feels very far away, I would say. I wouldn't really see it as much more different than selling to Norway. Norway is not part of the European Union, so it's exporting. It's an exporting country, but of course it's further away. It's maybe challenge number one, as it is actually the same for Norway, and it's definitely the same for Finland, is to find the proper sales representative that is a person actually working for us as a company, either as an employee or as a consultant or in any kind of relationship, actually promoting our products and doing it in a professional way. The problem since we have very long sales cycles, you can have somebody working for half a year, 1 year without seeing any results. The results will maybe show after 2 years, and then it's very difficult to say after. In the meantime, is this person actually doing a good job or not? So finding customers, I would say, would be the biggest challenge. And the further away from Sweden, I think the more difficult for us as a company to build trust, to go to a large-scale corporation in Southeast Asia and ask them to, or convince them to buy their secure login IT security equipment from a company on the other side of the globe. I think that's also a challenge, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
No, I just want to comment, not to comment,
wait, because I have to keep the times. So
how many minutes I have?
No, we don't have time. So unfortunately, we will take break for 15 minutes, but we have to give about 2:55.
Det var bra. Det var väldigt